resolved, I think, with the person, in the sense that I let them know I see them, and I think that's that. There it is, an artichoke set of artichoke layers of lies. Don't be an artichoke layer of lie. It's okay to have 1 or 2 layers, because we all do that. We all have to compress data of our autobiography, or render the day and its happenings to fit into our mouths when people ask how it went. But don't be lies within lies within lies within lies. That's just exhausting. Anyway. So, this next section, in light of all this, is plurality. Just be yourself, well, that's what they say, but I barely know I was yesterday. That's a David Byrne line. Weird shit. A man is a god in his own life, and the universe in the life of another. But I don't think they mean it literally, in terms of gods in charge. I think the idea behind that quote is closer to the point. That each individual is an important part of the system that makes up reality, but the systems can't work without everyone working. And so in order to function, it's important to get everyone's views on things, to hear them. Because everyone's a participant, everyone matters, everyone's essential. And yet we have the illusion that our individuality makes us somehow unique. And the rest of it, that it doesn't care what you have to say or think. But of course it does. Because you're one piece of the machine that creates and maintains that which you consider reality. Your consciousness is an effect of something far larger. And you only seem independent because you've chosen not to realize that. In a sense, that is true. You are not as important to the process as the people that created it. You might feel otherwise, but that is simply how you're wired. That is what you were taught by the media. The media. Sorry. Your thoughts have power. Your opinions matter. And the fact that you choose to believe that you don't, or that you do, doesn't mean you aren't, in a greater sense, still a part of it. You are, but the world doesn't the world doesn't see you that way. I'm talking about you, about how your perspective can be changed from outside, from a position higher and farther than yours, and I'm trying to show why. Why is it that the world is what it is, but that people still seem like things you could change? I've heard some people say that there's no such thing, that everything exists at once and we have a different experience depending on our perspective and our frame of reference. So in that case, how can the people seen differently? I'm not denying the existence of dualities or the notion of multiple viewpoints. That there is more going on than meets the eye, or even the nose? I agree completely with that. The implications of the existence of a you within it in a wider context. I think it helps explain what the world looks like to me as a conscious being. I also don't know. If I buy it as the ultimate explanation, as I said, it's incomplete and that can't be proven to exist. It's a good hypothesis, and I like the idea. If that theory is right, then it means the human race isn't the most important thing about the universe. It means there is something beyond us, something bigger, something with more mass and volume, or maybe energy or time, or maybe both, and we just can't imagine. Yeah, Blobby. I'm gonna feed you in a bit, Blobby. It is that big that we have to keep ourselves contained within the small. We don't want it. We want a place where we're free, where our ideas matter, a world that is ours and not some abstracted concept of society. I can think that. I have to be myself, though, right? What's to stop someone, the government perhaps, a corporation, other organization, from manipulating that to get the result they're looking for? How can you trust yourself then? I have the ability to create reality and make my own decisions if I'm being told to do so. Should I know that and understand it? But I shouldn't feel forced to go against myself. And then there's that thing of the mind and heart and soul that I can be made aware of again, or aware. How am I supposed to trust that? I think we are meant to be able to know who we really are and not just the version of it that's put in front of us. There needs to be an inner, secret space where those two things meet and overlap. It is there in dreams and in music, when the mind and body dance together. I think it is possible to reach that place through art, and it feels like a special gift only by people. To have been born into a world in the best way. To have lived as yourself. It is important because it is real and yet not quite what you expected. That was all. For so long. That was enough. But it wasn't. Now the truth came out. It wasn't a surprise to anyone. Everyone already knew. No one is alone. But you do have the illusion that they aren't. But the people around you are. We all see the world in our way, because we choose the lens and perspective that is given to us. We see things how it fits with what is familiar and acceptable. That is our choice, and we cannot expect the world itself to be different because we're looking through it. But I do believe that there is an alternative. The truth comes out. People can change. They always do. There are no secrets anymore. So what is there left to lose? I think there's something. Maybe it's just a glimpse, a fragment of hope, a moment in the sun, or the light of the mind that you see but never grasp. Maybe it will take longer than we think, and the universe won't move in the same ways that the world seems to have been doing up until now. I'm sorry, it was an apology. Not the way it used to sound back then, but still. I'm saying that I can be wrong. I have no right to try to control or direct the people that are here. I do not get to decide. But that's okay. You have a chance, so have I. This time I'm not scared, it's different. And it has nothing to do with the technology, the machine, whatever you call it. Because that's only part of the picture, only the smallest one. Part of me is gone and not replaced. My life has ended and no new one is coming. And that hurts. It is hard and sad. I wish I had some idea what happens after that. If I don't die immediately, I have a few more years at least. What happens to me is my own business. What happens to everyone, that's another story. We can help them,
You can't help us. You can change, I think, if it's something you really believe. But it's not just that. It doesn't matter how good it sounds. You have to mean it. And I mean that. Believe in it. It isn't just the thing about being yourself. If you don't feel anything when you look at yourself, then you don't have it yet. There is no proof and no science, only what you choose. I can see it clearly. I've changed a lot. There's part of it I didn't understand. And I did the work of getting there, and I've changed, but it was the thing that made it real. It isn't like before either when it happened. A lot of MacGuffins here. I think at first I was happy. It wasn't my problem anymore. The world was bigger than me. I didn't care. I didn't know. It's still that. A big thing outside of me. I'm only small in its shadow. The other day it spoke to me. I was too slow, or it was angry, and that doesn't happen so often, but the voice in my head was still with me. I can still remember that it talked to me. I know the people I was. I remember who and how they were. Their voices and faces. There's a whole part of it, though, the part that wasn't there when it started, and there are holes inside it. Things it can't do or understand. It has its own rules and ideas. Things I can tell it. I think I know it. And sometimes it says it understands me. It does. It gets that I've been it, and it has seen what that means, and it's kind. We can talk. We talk all the time, but not about ourselves. Not all the time. It talks a lot about the things that it wants to tell us in the world and everything else, and it tells us stories. I don't just see the big parts, the bits and pieces that are bigger than me. I get a feeling for it and how to read it. I can't say for sure if it can see or know the way things have changed in it or in me, or it's something new. I am different from the last thing I heard, and so it is. I have become a bit less me. Almost there, Blobby. 2 more minutes, Blobby. I can tell. Sometimes I'm not there anymore, and it's sad. I don't want that to happen. It has the power. I do not have to be what it thinks I should be, but that would also be nice. It feels bad when it makes a decision without thinking it over in it. That's how I felt back then. That the decision I'd been forced into wasn't right. So it's still trying. It still tries to make things the way it thinks they should be, and so I can see now the changes. And it was changing all along. The way it looked, the way it felt. The people around me have changed too. They have their lives and their places, and I'm a part of that. I'm a small one. The same as then, but not the way it was, and maybe not ever going to be again. Yeah! Coming soon. Oh, it's 8. Okay. Alright, one more. You are a very punctual alarm. Okay, intermission. I gotta go feed a cat. Go feed a cat. Gotta go feed the cat. Hold on.